Have you ever listened to a Hans Zimmer track and thought, how does he make something so simple sound so massive? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to go from this to something that sounds like this. We're going to build a full hybrid orchestral track inspired by Zimmer's style, starting from a basic idea and layering rhythm, harmony, textures, and melody step by step. So, if you want to understand how to create that big cinematic sound, stay with me. Let's get started. So, what actually makes Hans Zimmer's orchestral music sound so iconic? Zimmer's style is about simplicity, but on a massive scale. Here are 5 things he uses all the time. 1. He uses strong, simple motifs. Two, also uses a lot of ostinatos that are repetitive rhythmic patterns. Three, he adds massive layers. Four, he makes a hybrid scoring using orchestra, synths, and sound design. And 5, he uses some percussion and low-end power. So, in this video, we're going to try and build something that uses all of those elements starting from scratch. Let's start with the core idea. He very often writes in D minor, which has a dark, serious, and cinematic sound. So that's exactly what we'll do too. We will use D minor, B flat, D minor, and C major. This is the part where the ostinatos drive the energy, short, repeating string rhythms, and the chords support that motion. It's very much like The Dark Knight or Man of Steel, hypnotic, pulsing, and relentless. I'm starting with cellos and basses playing a pulsing ostinato pattern. Then, I layer violas and violins with short, driving rhythms to build energy. Notice how I'm not writing complex melodies here. It's about rhythmic power and layering. Now let's add one of Zimmer's trademarks, ambient textures, and synth pads. I'm layering some warm synths underneath the orchestra to add depth and modern character. Zimmer often blends analog and digital elements even in big orchestral moments. Before jumping into percussion, I'll add a few extra layers, including some bass and tenor choir and some sound design textures to push the track into more of a sci-fi direction. Percussion is a key part of Zimmer's sound. Think of Inception, Dune, or The Dark Knight. It's all about impact and rhythm. I'm using a mix of low percussion like toms, tacos, surdos, and huge low bass drums. Layering is everything. I recorded multiple percussion tracks to create that wall of sound without overloading any one layer. So far, we've got a strong foundation: rhythm, harmony, and power. But if you want to really bring it to life, there are still some key elements missing. We haven't talked about the melody yet, and that's intentional. Zimmer often uses subtle, minimal motifs, and sometimes the melody emerges more from the orchestration than from a traditional lead line. And hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, feel free to give it a like. It really helps a lot. And if you want to see more breakdowns like this, don't forget to subscribe. Stick around, because after that, I'm also going to give you a quick pro tip about mixing and how to get that huge cinematic sound that feels like Hans Zimmer's productions. Let's build that melody. So here's what I did. I wrote a short, repeating motif played by the horns. Then a counter melody with a warm analog-style synth blends it into the hybrid texture. Trombones and euphoniums follow the horns on a lower octave. The idea is simple, just a few notes, but placed in the right register and layered with the right sounds. It gives the track a clear identity without overpowering everything else. Alright, here's the pro tip I promised, and it's all about mixing. A lot of people think Hans Zimmer's sound comes from the notes or the instruments, and of course, that's part of it. But honestly, the mix is where a huge part of the magic happens. Here are 3 things I do in the mix to get closer to that cinematic Zimmer-style sound. First, give your instruments space with reverb and panning. Use a big cinematic reverb, something with a long tail, but don't just slap it on everything. Zimmer's mixes have space because each element sits in a different place, some dry and close, others huge and wide. Second, layer with intention, but mix with EQ. Zimmer uses tons of layering, but each layer has a purpose. I like to EQ each layer to carve space. For example, I'll high-pass the strings around 120 Hz so they don't fight the low brass and percussion. Even synths and pulses need sculpting, otherwise your mix gets muddy fast. Third, automate the mix like it's an instrument. One of Zimmer's secrets is that his mixes move, the music breathes, swells, and evolves. So, I'll automate things like volume, expression, filter, cutoff, reverb, send levels, even stereo width to make the track feel alive. You don't need new notes, just movement. So remember, don't wait until the end to mix. Treat mixing like part of the composition process. That's how you get that cinematic Zimmer sound. Alright, I know you've been waiting for this moment. So here's how the final result sounds, with everything put together. Thanks for watching. If you want more breakdowns like this, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more cinematic music tutorials. Keep composing, and I'll see you in the next one.